All right, let's just dive right into this. Today, we are exploring a truly fascinating narrative that comes to us from the small, humble village of Rampur. And you know, it's a story about ambition, it's about the dark side of jealousy, and, believe it or not, a very unique vegetable love story. Yeah, you heard that right. The source material for our explainer today uses this brilliant metaphor of vegetables to tell a deeply human story. So we're going to follow the journey of a hardworking potato, a sweet corn, and a very, very bitter onion. It's a classic rags to riches tale, but as you'll see, the path to wealth is rarely a straight line.
But before we unpack the specific timeline of events, we really have to ask the central question that anchors this entire story. In the battle of love and money, will true love actually win? Like, can genuine affection and trust survive the corrupting influence of wealth, distance, and just malicious jealousy? Keep this question right in the back of your mind as we go through this, because the way our main characters navigate this exact dilemma is incredibly revealing.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, a unique love story.
So we begin in the quiet, tight-knit community of Rampur Village, and here we meet Alu. He's this humble, hard-working potato who starts every single morning pushing his small vegetable cart. Now, he doesn't have a lot of money, but man, he has massive dreams. And more importantly, his core philosophy is crystal clear. He always says, "Your trust is my biggest earning." He actually tells us to his customers when they compliment his vegetables. So he wasn't just trying to make a quick buck, right? He's building actual relationships. And it's exactly this integrity, paired with his warm smile, that catches the attention of a sweet corn named Buta. She starts visiting his cart, and it's not just for the fresh produce anymore, it's for the connection.
It's amazing how a blossoming romance can be sparked by just a simple smile. Their daily interactions at the cart naturally evolve into this really deep, unspoken connection. And the source material highlights this pivotal moment at the annual village fair. Amidst all the crowds and the noise, Alu isn't looking at the attractions. He's just looking for Buddha. And when he finds her, he gives her a simple rose. Now, it wasn't the most expensive gift in the world, but as Buddha notes, she promised to keep it safe forever, simply because of the pure feeling behind it.
Which brings us to Section 2, Flight of Big Dreams. As much as Alu loves his life in the village with Buddha, he realizes something harsh. To achieve his massive dreams and become a truly successful man, he has to travel to the unforgiving city. And this leads to a highly emotional farewell. Right before Alu boards the bus to Delhi, Buta ties a simple thread around his wrist. She tells him, "This thread is not just a thread, it's my strength." It creates this powerful physical symbol of their unwavering trust. I mean, it isn't a thread bought with money, it's bought with faith. Alu promises to return successful, and Buddha promises to wait, basically giving him the emotional armor he needs to face the unknown.
All right, let's shift gears and move to Section 3, City, Struggle, and Success.
So Alu arrives in the city, a place where everyone is running after their own dreams. Nobody knows his name, and he is starting from absolute zero. Let's look at this timeline. On day 1, he literally arrives empty-handed, just a few coins in his pocket, facing closed doors. By week 1, he manages to secure a job as an honest laborer. He's working while the whole city sleeps. By month 6, through relentless saving, we're talking saving every single penny, he transitions from an employee to a small cart owner. He actually tells his boss he wants to start his own business, and the boss, completely won over by his honesty, fully supports him. Finally, by year 1, that small cart has transformed into his very own big vegetable shop. He has officially made it.
And you know, it all really comes down to the number 1. He started with just one single vegetable cart in this massive city. But through sheer, relentless hard work, excellent customer service, and just unmatched honesty, he transformed that single cart into the most trusted shop in the entire area. People were literally bypassing established vendors just to buy from Alu. It goes to show that monumental success so often stems from mastering just one small, honest beginning.
But hey, every hero needs a villain, right? We have to contrast Alu's pure intentions with our antagonist, Peyaj, the onion. Alu, as we know, is driven by hard work, honesty, and his love for Buddha. Peyaj, on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, is the city's ruthless, immensely wealthy vegetable merchant. He is driven entirely by wealth, jealousy, and deceit. When Peyaj first saw Alu as a laborer, he just brushed him off. But now that Alu is a shop owner, Peyaj views him as a direct, terrifying threat. And that tension leads us right into Section 4, Jealousy and a Dangerous Plot. As Alu's success absolutely skyrockets and customers are flocking to his new shop, it triggers a dark, highly calculated reaction from our villain.
Piage's competitive observation morphs into this toxic, malicious jealousy. He actually says, if he isn't stopped right here, one day he will become a bigger merchant than me. Piage knows deep down he cannot beat Alou in fair business. Alou's produce is just too good and his honesty is too magnetic. So Piage decides he has to play dirty.
Unable to compete in the market, Pajian executes 3 devious steps to bypass the business entirely and directly attack Alou's personal life. Step 1, he sends his own men all the way back to Rampur village. Step 2, these men find Bhutta and feed her calculated lies, telling her Alou has become this arrogant big-shot businessman who has completely forgotten about her. And step 3, the ultimate goal here is to shatter their foundation of trust. Pajian figures if Alou becomes emotionally broken, he'll lose his drive for the business entirely.
And the tragic part? The deceit actually works temporarily, leading to this devastating silence. Bhutta, totally heartbroken by the lies, just stops answering Alou's phone calls. She genuinely believes the promise of that threat has been broken by the allure of city wealth. Meanwhile, back in the city, Alou is left utterly devastated. I mean, he has achieved the shop of his dreams, but without the person he wanted to share it with, the success feels entirely empty. It's just a heartbreaking misunderstanding.
But don't worry, we're not ending on a downer. Let's look at Section 5, Victory of Truth and Love. Because truth has a funny way of bubbling to the surface, doesn't it? Alou refuses to just give up. He digs into why Bhutta suddenly cut contact, and eventually he uncovers Piage's sinister plot. Confronted with the undeniable truth of his own sabotage, Piage is forced into a pretty humiliating confession. He admits, "I regret my jealousy. I made a huge mistake." This moment is huge because it proves a vital lesson. Deceit is an incredibly fragile weapon when it finally goes up against the unbreakable force of the truth. Piage's entire empire of lies just crumbles.
So with the lies cleared away, Alou and Bhutta are finally reunited. It's a beautiful reunion built entirely on truth. Alou looks at her and says, "You are my biggest wealth and my biggest trust." They realize in that moment that their bond was always stronger than the miles between them, and infinitely stronger than the toxic lies fed to them by a jealous rival. Alou achieved his massive dreams, but crucially, he didn't lose his soul or his true love in the process.
To wrap up this explainer, there are 3 vital takeaways we can really distill from Alou and Bhutta's journey. First, honest hard work always pays off. Alou didn't take any shortcuts, right? He built his empire coin by coin, genuinely earning his customers' trust. Second, jealousy ultimately destroys the jealous. Piage focused so much energy on destroying Alou that he ruined his own reputation and peace of mind. And third, true trust is stronger than any lie. That simple thread Bhutta tied on Alou's wrist represented a bond that withstood the ultimate test.
I actually want to leave you with this final thought to consider today. In your own pursuit of success, how strong is your thread of trust? As you go out there and chase your own big dreams, as you scale the ladders of your industry and build your wealth, are you protecting the emotional bonds and the integrity that truly matter? It's definitely a question worth asking yourself. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey. And remember, keep building your success on truth.